Let's make something happen.
So we're supposed to do a Scum and Villainy 2.0 cost list, but we're not doing that because we're bouncing around again. So
well,
because we can't seem to get the queue. Anyways,
well, a gazillion cost lists have been done, and a certain sidekick took forever to want to film anything.
I didn't.
You canceled all of last week on me.
I did no such thing. You were gone.
I was not gone. So, anyways, we're doing points anyways because we're doing 2.0 list builds. Who is it? Launch Bay. At least I loaded Launch Bay NE on my phone. I got you to do the same.
Yeah. So just briefly before we get into the builds. Okay. So everybody's all excited about it, and that's great. That's fantastic. We're excited about it here. We're actually even going to be playing some 2.0 this coming Thursday. We're going to try it out and stuff. So we're going to have some fun with it. But here is what's frustrating. So Fantasy Flight hypes all this 2.0 stuff up. I'm being a negative Ninja right now.
That's my job. I got the Darth Vader shirt.
What does Fantasy Flight do? They release it at Gen Con, but they don't release the app. Hello, morons! So you go and you release the costs so that everybody can see the costs. That's great. But all those costs are eventually going to change because of your app, eventually when you decide to maneuver certain aspects of certain things being used. So for people to get used to playing, so what happens is a secondary person has come out and made an app. So what's going to happen? So now Fantasy Flight has lost their control over because they didn't release the app as in when they released their.
They haven't lost the control of anything.
But
as soon as they release their app, no, they haven't. As soon as they release their app, you need to use their app.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You can use the Launch Bay one.
No, you can't, because Launch Bay can't upload into their tournament system. Their app can. So
I still think Fantasy Flight should have released the app at the same time as
they haven't released the product to the general public yet.
Yeah, I still think they should have released the
I
app.
think they should have released the product the same time they did it at Gen Con.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying is one of the problems I have is the fact that they should have released it all at once instead of how they did it. I think.
Yeah, well, yeah, I personally would just like to get on with it and play the 2.0 stuff, anyways. But anyways, we're gonna try to cheer Curtis up. Because, apparently he needs a little beating with the happy stick.
I am fine.
Oh, my Lord.
I am fine. I'm just simply stating a fact. That's all.
Yes. So, anyways, we're going to concentrate on some builds. This video, I think we're going to stick to some Rebel builds, because that'll put a smile to Twinkle Toes here. And I jumped on the app, and I put together some builds, and I know you did too.
So we're using the Launch Bay next
for now. Yeah.
For these builds
to get these things started.
And I'd like to thank one of the Crimson Knight Raven members for finding the app and posting it for us to be able to use it. It was really nice of him. Thanks, Nate. Thumbs up, man.
There you go. So do you want to do the first build, or shall I?
Well, okay, so 200 points. I have built.
Oh, this is a Curtis build.
So
get pen and
my
pencil.
builds suck. So I decided to. I've been wanting since they decided to come up with the E-wing and adjust certain things. I've been wanting to fly an E-wing, but I also like flying the new Hawk. I want to try the new Hawk, and then my favorite ship is the ARC 170 that I've mentioned numerous times in lots of our videos.
And I like the ARC 170 too. It's a fun ship.
So the first build I have is 200 points. And so I'm flying the Hawk 290 with Janors, Shara Bay with the ARC 170, and Gavin Darklighter in the E-Wing. Now, like Jan Ors, her ability is the same to an extent. So her ability says, while a friendly ship is in your firing arc, in your firing arc performs a primary attack. If you are not stressed, you may gain 1 stress token. If you do, the ship may roll 1 additional attack dice. But the difference is before she was just able to do it. Now you have to be actually in her arc for her to be able to use
and they've done that to a lot of the things.
And then, so what did I load her up with? So I put in the crew slot, I put Jen Orso, which is a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 would gain a focus token, or it may gain 1 evade token instead. I didn't put a device on it. I put hull upgrade, which is for those who can afford an enhanced shield generator. Bolting additional plates onto the hull of your ship can serve as an adequate substitute. So that's 5 points. So the hull upgrade went on there. I also added engine upgrade and gave the Janors the boost, which is fine because technically it already had the boost, but it was red.
So now it's white.
Now it's white, which is what the new engine upgrade card does, is it makes it red white instead of it being a red. So large military force, such as the Galactic Empire, have standardized engines, blah, blah, blah. You already know what the flavor text on the card is, as everybody's been doing it. And then I put trick shot, which is while you perform an attack that is obstructed by an obstacle, roll an additional attack dice. So that's on Jen. And then on Shara, who actually, Shara's ability is Nora's old ability. So Shara has her new ability. And what I put on Shara was the R3 Astromech, Sagurer, the Veteran Tail Gunner, and Predator. I'm not going to go into the details. Those, everybody, I'm pretty sure, because you only have certain Astromechs that you can use now on the loadout. So just in case you don't know, the R3 Astromech is you can maintain up to 2 target locks. So, like, instead of Weapons Engineer, now they have the Astromech that allows you to hold 2 target locks. So Shara Bay still gets her 2 target lock ability with the R3 Astromech that she had before, but now she's able to use that target lock and a second target lock on a second target for other purposes. Then you have the Saga Rare card, which again, it means it turns all the focuses to crits, but you take a damage. And then the Veteran Tail Gunners, after you perform a primary attack, you need to perform a bonus primary attack. So you get to she gets to shoot twice. So
and she does have a rear arc.
And she has a rear arc because your arcs already have that.
Yeah.
But the reason I put that on there, the Veteran Tail Gunner, is because she's holding 2 target locks. So on 2 different targets. So she uses the 1 target lock on the 1 target, then she gets to shoot the other target with the second target lock, which allows them both to work. And then obviously you have Predator, which Predator used to be able to just roll your dice. Now you can only use Predator when you're in your bullseye. So if it's in your bullseye firing arc, then you can re-roll it. If you are not in the bullseye firing arc, if the ship isn't in that arc, you can't re-roll on Predator no more. So it's only in the bullseye. So that's on Shara. And then the last but not least, the E-Wing. I'm ecstatic about the E-Wing, but I also still found that it's still too expensive.
Yeah.
while a friendly ship performs an attack, if the defender is in your main firing arc, the attacker may change 1 hit result to a crit result. So this is Darklighter. And he has experimental scanners, which says you can acquire locks beyond range 3. You cannot acquire locks at range 1. So the E-Wing states, like, you can use E-Wing as a hammer, right? So you can take it and you can, but with that scanner thing, you can put your target lock on earlier, but you're not going to be able to do it if you're in range under 3. I put the R4 Astromech on, which says it decreases the difficulty of your speed 1 and 2 basic maneuvers. So if anything's red, they go white. If anything's white, they go blue. If anything's blue, obviously it stays blue. So the difficulty changes. And then I put marksmanship, which has changed, by the way. Before it was an action. Now it's just a straight change. So while you perform an attack, if the defender is in your, again, but only in your bullseye firing arc, you may change one hit result to a crit result. So it's kind of a mini Saw Gerrera in a way, except you don't have to spend damage to get anything and turn anything that focuses. It's just changed hit to a crit, but it has to be in your bullseye firing arc. So this loadout, 200 points.
What are the individual ship costs?
Each ship, so the Hawk costs 53 points, Shara is 70 points, and the E-Wing is 71 points. And just so everybody knows, the ARC 170 is also in medium base going into 2.0, just in case you are unfamiliar.
Which is cool.
So,
I think. I'm
yeah,
looking
I
forward to
think
flying
it,
medium
I think it
bases.
is. I think it is really cool too. I think that the ARC needed to be on a medium base because it overstretches the other base too much.
Yeah.
So I think a medium base is good for it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And what's the strategy? Is that an aggressive build or?
Well, it's kind of a mofo, having fun. I kind of want to make it aggressive, but it has the potential to be aggressive. But like every other build that I ever make in this game, it probably will maybe win once. So, we'll see what happens, and then I usually play around with the loadouts after that. So that's my first build for my Rebels.
Yeah, see, for me, building for Rebels, as you know, I'm not a huge Rebels player, and what I do usually play with got shifted into the new units or Resistance or whatever the hell they're going to call them. So, looking at builds for Rebels this time, I looked at all the ships, and I decided my first build I'm going to base on my favorite ship that's left out of all of them, and that is the ARC 170s, because I like them. And I basically made an aggressive build because
Do you have enough ARCs?
I only have 2. I'm going to have to buy another one. My goal is to get 3 and paint them up as Seattle Seahawk colors. That is my goal for my ARCs. So I'm now going to have to get 3 because out of the Rebel builds, this is probably the most one that I'm interested in flying. I went with Nora Wexley. I went with Shara Bay. And I went with Garvin Dreis, D-R-E-I-S.
That's Dres. He was.
Yeah. Sonora, while you defend, if there's an enemy ship at range 0.
Nora has defense.
Yeah, range 0 to 1, add 1 defense result to your dice results, which works for me. And then Shara Bay, you already went over with the target lock, all that kind of stuff. And then our friend Garvin here, after you spend a focus token, you may choose 1 friendly ship at range 1 to 3. That ship gains 1 focus token. So that is kind of nice. Let's see, he's pilot skill 4, 4. So the Shara Bay's 4, Nora Wexley is 5. I kind of went with the same layout for all of them. So they're all getting hull upgrade. Where is it? Yeah, hull upgrade, so they get the 1 extra hull. They're all getting trick shot. So when you perform an attack that is obstructed by an obstacle, you roll an additional die. I went with Veteran Tail Gunner, so that when I attack with the primary attack, I may perform a bonus attack out of the ass end. So every turn, all 3 ships will get, there'll be 6 attacks altogether instead of 3. And with trick shot, out of all those angles, something's got to be in their way. There's going to be an obstacle in there, because I'm not afraid to fly into the rocks. So there's going to be obstacles. And then they gave them the R5 Astromech. Action, spend 1, whatever that energy thing is, to repair 1 face-down damage card, or action, repair 1 face-up ship damage card. So I gave them a little bit of regen. I mean, it's kind of flaky, but a little bit of regen helps so they can get rid of their face-up cards, and once they become face-down, there's a way to get rid of at least 2 face-down.
Yeah, the R5 Astromech's pretty good, actually.
So I set that up on all 3, except the only exception is Garvin. With Garvin, I threw on Jan Urso.
Jan Urso?
Yeah. Which, if a friendly ship at range 1 to 3 would gain a focus token, it may gain 1 evade token instead. And that, I mean, the theory with that, I had some extra points, and with Shara Bay, when Darvin does this little trick with handing out the focus token to somebody else, Shara Bay, or even for that matter, Nora Wexley, I'll have an option of, instead of taking the focus, taking an evade token instead.
Here's a question for you. What's all the pilot skills?
Yeah, I said 4, 4, and 5.
4, 4, and 5?
Yeah.
So mine's 5, 4, 4.
Yeah. Well, yours is the same as mine then, 5, 4, 4.
But here's the situation. So Nora shoots first out of your build.
Yeah.
So if she ends up going first, shooting first, if Garvin ends up shooting last.
Well, if Garvin's going to shoot after Nora at a 4.
Yeah, but he might end up shooting after all the other attacks are done. So that.
Well, no, because most of the ships in this thing are 3 2s and 4s. So there's a pretty good chance that after Garvin shoots, there's going to be other ships that are going to have a shot at all 3 of these. So 4 is not the bottom. I was looking at the pilot things. And we're only dealing with pilot skill 4, 5, up to 6 now. So 4 is right in the middle. You know there's going to be people trying, if say a swarm or something where you're going to have 8 guys shooting at you after you've done your round, it might be nice to hand out an extra.
Oh, no, I agree with you.
I built them up to be an aggressive build. These guys are just going to go in, do their business. I mean, I did that before with my ARC build. Only
you have a modification on there, don't you?
I had 2.
Have mods, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Well, the hull upgrade is the mod.
Oh.
So
yeah,
I've given them an extra hull, which makes them basically 8 hull, 3 shields, which makes them pretty beefy. So you got 8 hull, 3 shields flying in, shooting out of the front and the back, with possible bonuses and the ability to pass out some focuses and evade tokens. I mean, I'm not going to fly them all apart. They're coming in as a plan, and they'll let loose. I think they'll be fun. I like ships that can shoot out of the front and the back, because I mean in this game people like to get around and ooh, I'm going to get behind you and shoot you. Well, go ahead. I got guns there too. I'll shoot back. And you get the attack. Well, in theory, as long as ships are where they need to be and you fly smart enough to make sure they are. I mean, you can have with 3 ships, you can have up to 6 attacks in a turn. Works for me. Anyways, I mean, I'm looking forward to flying it. I've flown the ARCs before. I mean, when I do Rebel builds, a lot of people build them so they all work together. It's a perfect marriage. I always build them so they work separately and they just go do their job. And my ARC build in 1.1, I mean, I lost 1 or 2 games out of it, and that's it. It pounded all the time. So I was pleased. So that is where I'm going with that. How about your second build?
Well, I don't know if I want to make my second build, because all it's been, I don't know.
What's your second build?
So, I had 2 builds. I built 3 builds, but you know, I was like, oh, do I want to do this one or that one? But I'm gonna do the second build. So the second build I have is Han Solo, Magva Yarro, and Thane Carell. So Han Solo obviously in the Millennium Falcon, Magva Yarro in a U-wing, and Thane Carell in a T-65 X-wing. So I'm excited about Han Solo, and by the way, I'm also excited at the fact that the Millennium Falcon in Rebels has a sloop. Sorry, not a sloop. Yeah, it's a sloop. I think it's a sloop.
Turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has the sloop, so that's pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to that. But it lost its 1 turn, hard turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Han Solo. After you roll dice, if you are at range 0 to 1 of any obstacle, you may re-roll all of your dice. This does not count as re-roll for the purpose of your other effects. Oh, I love it! So
because you're always near a rock.
Exactly. I always end up near rocks, so Han Solo is perfect for me. And the best part
and
of
you
it,
get a free re-roll. That doesn't count as a re-roll.
That's right. So I get to re-roll more. Because I need as much re-rolls as possible in my life in playing in this game.
It will work great.
So for me, that's a perfect marriage. So
actually, it is.
And so I stuck. I don't have a lot on it because the loadout is 200 points and Han is expensive. Jyn Erso is on there. Again, she She does her range 0 to 3, would give a focus instead of a debate to friendly ships. And squad leaders. So while you coordinate the ship you choose, you can perform an action only if that action is also on your action bar. So pretty much Han Solo is kind of like, I'm going to kind of guide everybody and help everybody else out while he's beefy enough to handle himself with his fact of him being able to reroll. Now, I'm pretty sure this loadout is going to change. I might end up dumping the T-65 so I can increase Han a little bit more with some stuff. But that's all I put on Han is Jen and the squad leader. Magva is in her U-wing, and she is, while a friendly ship at range 0 to 2 defends, the attacker cannot reroll more than 1 attack dice. So, the best thing about her is all those guys that are out there that like to roll 4 or 5 different more dice or make some changes or do that kind of stuff. She says,
No.
You can roll 1, but that's all. You can't roll any more. So, really works good with the Predator because Predator only allows you to roll 1 anyways. And then obviously you have the pivot wing on there, which is different in 2.0. I don't know if what the double side is, but on the one side that they show here, it's the I could turn my ship 90 or 180 degrees on the stop maneuver. So you turn your ship fully around, or you do a 90-degree turn.
Usually the other side is you get an extra defense.
Usually, but I'm not too sure if that's still on there. And then she has Predator. Now these ships are pretty thin. There's not a lot on them, which again for me is very good because when I get a lot of upgrades, well, I don't know what I'm doing. So I totally lose myself in all my upgrades. So the less upgrades I put on my ships, the better. Dan Thane, he's the new X-Wing pilot. So it says, while you perform an attack, you may spend 1 focus. I may spend a focus, a hit, or a crit result to look at the defender's face-down damage card, choose one, and expose it. So, if I have a hit, or I have a focus on there, and I don't have to wait for him to reroll that focus, I can get rid of my focus, I can choose the person's face-down card, and then I can expose that card, and then they have to, they get to, well, I need to explain the goodness of that one, because it is what it is. So, and then it has servos, the S-foils, which is different. And the servo S-foil is different in 2.0 than in 1.0. It still has one of the same maneuvers, but it only has 1, not both. And Predator, where I get to reroll a dice.
As long as you said the arc.
The good thing is while you perform a primary attack, if the defender is in my bullseye arc, I may reroll 1 of my dice. The good thing about these reroll dice in 2.0 is they're saying, yeah, we'll allow you to do it, but you have to do it in your bullseye firing arc. So it's not just automatic anymore, where in 1.0, you were Predator, I'm just going to reroll. Or Lone Wolf, I'm just going to reroll. Now everything has to be, in any aspect, everything has to be in arc.
These bonuses are gone. You need to have a pilot skill to know how to fly this stuff to actually get
and I don't have a pilot skill, so I'm in trouble. I've come to this conclusion.
Fine.
I am going to need help.
So, how much are the pilots and how the build?
So, their pilot skills are 6, 3, 5. The Han Solo is 98 points, Magma is 52 points, and Thane is 50 points. Again, it's very light, so there's not a lot on them. But it's a very basic build. But I love the Millennium Falcon. It's one of my favorite ships to fly. I know I said that with my Arc, but the Arc is like my top ship to fly that I love flying. But I really like to fly the Millennium Falcon. The other ship I like to fly is oh my goodness, Wookiee ship. Oshitek. That's it. Oshitek. I like flying the Oshiteks. But I might not actually fly Oshitek in the 2.0.
No.
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 But because I'm really liking, I really like Han Solo's ability in here. Makes him really good, and I really want to play with more U-wings.
Yeah. Actually, you'd be impressed with my third build then. Okay, so I'll get into my second build. The E-wing is supposed to be all the pizzazz for the Rebels, and
I don't think it really is.
I looked at them and damn if they ain't expensive. So even in the new build, but I thought, okay, I'll give it a chance. So I picked an E-wing, Gavin Darklighter. I decided to work with him while a friendly ship performs an attack.
I think he's going to be the popular one.
Yeah, if the defender is in your arc, your front forward arc, the attacker may change one hit result to a crit result. That works for me. And he's got experimental scanners. You can acquire locks beyond range 3, whereas you can't acquire locks at range 1. So, oh well, I'll live. So anyways, I took him. He is a pilot skill 4, which seems to be a pretty popular number with everything I picked all through this thing. I put an R4 astromech on him to decrease the difficulty of your 1 and 2 basic maneuvers. Because he's got red 1s for a red.
Yeah, yes.
So now he has white 1s. So I like that better.
What you put up? What upgrade on him?
The R4 astromech.
Oh yes,
so his hard 1s are now white instead of red.
I really like the R4 astromech.
You know what?
I think the R4 astromech is amazing.
For the 2 points, I like that.
Here's a problem with the R4 astromech.
Well, and look at it, makes all of the 2s blue.
Yeah, and the thing that's really good about it. But
Yeah.
the problem is as soon as people start playing it a lot, Fantasy Flight can increase the price.
Well, they can do that with anything. So, anyways, R4 astromech, because it makes his 1s and 2s make up for that.
It's amazing.
That 3 Schloop or whatever he's got in his 4K turn.
Schloop.
So no, and I got to go red to get a target lock if I have to do a barrel roll or a boost. So it just gives lots of ways to get rid of it. You know, get rid of the red and still be able to do a maneuver without your opponent going, oh, he's got 3 choices. So that worked. And I gave him advanced sensors. After you reveal your dial, you may perform 1 action. If you do, you cannot perform another action. So I did that just in case I am doing a red maneuver. He'll still get his action, and then he'll turn red, and then I'll get rid of it with the green. And life is good. I don't have to worry about that. I also gave him marksmanship. While you perform an attack, if the defender is in your bullseye, you may change 1 hit to a crit, just to make him interesting. All that interesting added up to 68 points, which I thought...
On him himself?
Altogether, that added up to 68 points. An E-wing.
Just on the E-wing?
Just on the E-wing. And
that's ridiculous.
I'm thinking, okay. So how am I going to mix him up and feel like I've got something competitive? And I read through all the Rebel ships and I went, screw that, no, screw that too. I decided he's going to be flying with a Falcon. It's him and a Falcon, and that is it on the table. Not only any
Who did
Falcon,
you use as a pilot?
Lando Calrissian.
Lando, he's 92 points.
Yeah. So he is, after you fully execute a blue maneuver, you may choose a friendly ship at 1 to 3. Let's see here. Yeah, you may choose a friendly ship at 1 to 3, and that ship may perform an action.
So he gives other ships actions.
Yeah.
I think he did that in 1.1.
And you know what I did, which I just realized, which is going to screw things up, but that's all right. I'll just have to pick a new guy. Is for his crew, I picked Lando Calrissian. So apparently the program won't stop you from doing stupid things.
The launch bay app, I did this a couple times. I was going through things. So everybody knows that when it has a little dot in front of the name, that's elite. That's like the elite pilot, right?
Yeah.
You can only have one of them in your loadout. So I'm going through and building a loader, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, it didn't stop you. It doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't stop you. So poor Lando Calrissian has to go. Oh, that sucks. Who am I going to replace him with? See, that's the problem that I found with the crew. Is I found the selection really sucked. I'll put Chewbacca on. There you go. At the start of an engagement phase, you may spend 2 energy to repair 1 face-down damage card. So I have a way to fix the Falcon now.
Yeah.
Lando's gone, at least out of the
Lando's not gone.
Chewbacca's in.
He's flying.
But he's got 9 hull and 5 shields. So having the ability to get rid of silly face down damage cards actually works. Of course, I always threw on because I have to, because I love him, Biston. After you perform a primary attack,
He's not the same.
If you are focused, you may perform a bonus attack against a ship you have not already attacked this round. So they got the little dial. So I'm imagining that's the little dials they're putting on the turrets now.
Yeah.
So this gives the Falcon 2 turret shots a turn. That's not bad. All I have to do is make sure that he's got a focus on him, and he gets 2 shots. I also put on concussion missiles, because they're the only thing that I'd put on anything. I gave it hull upgrade, just because 10 hull is better than 9, so he's 15 points to get rid of. And I gave him marksmanship. So that silly ship came out to be, what is it altogether? 121 points. So I spent 200 points, and I got an E-Wing and a Falcon. I've flown the Falcon a lot with Ray, no secret there. And with this build, I mean, it gives me 2 attacks. That works for me. I could do damage with this just as much as I did with Ray. So I'm willing to give this a fly and see how it works. But yeah, that E-Wing.
I'm hoping that someone builds a Defender build and they say, "Wow, that Defender." Same thing we're saying about the E-Wing. But
I did, and I'd be saying the same thing. But yeah, no, those are the 2 squads. I've got a third one that's all U-Wings, believe it or not.
I have a third one that's double Falcons.
Do you really?
Yeah, I went double Falcons. So I love playing double Falcons, but we're not going to go into it because we want to make the videos.
But I will say, on building my Rebel lists, with the choices that you have, I spent more time going, nah, I don't want that on my ship, than yes, I want that on my ship. I don't know about you.
I have found that building Rebel at this present moment, this early in 2.0, is a little bit of a challenge. Because really, to be honest with you, there's really not a lot of, like, they're pretty decent. Like, the pilots got some pretty, like, the pilot skills on a lot of the pilots are very decent. But I'm finding that Rebels are extremely,
I just found the combinations
extremely expensive.
The combinations, when I go to look at the Rebels in 1.0 and the builds and the mixes and all that, I just didn't find the same chemistry in the stuff. But like, don't get me wrong, the ARC 170 build, I am actually looking forward to flying and taking that seriously. The Falcon build with the E, well, I'll fly it. I'll see what happens. I think I'll win some, I'll lose some, but it doesn't get me excited. And my 3 U-Wing build that I put together was just for laughs. If I'm drunk one night, I may fly it.
But anyways, I mean, all in all, the Rebel, yeah, I found that that's the problem with the Rebels. That there's a lot of things you're going through, like,
And the chemistry, I don't think the chemistry
is
as strong as it was in 1.0.
No, but I think that the chemistry with the pilot's skills is better than what it was in 1.0.
You know, I thought so too, but then I looked at the pilots I liked, and I looked at the costs, and trying to put 2 or 3 of them in one build and then still have points for upgrades was extremely challenging.
Yeah, I think that
there's pilots I like, but I couldn't put them in the builds.
I think the purpose is if you want to fly all unique pilots,
you're not doing it together.
If you want to fly all unique pilots, you're not going to get a lot of upgrades, and you're going to be flying with their abilities and the pilot and the ship instead of using all kinds of jankiness to help you get through. But anyways, that was our Rebel builds.
Yeah, we had some fun builds there. So.
And it was quite interesting. I'm definitely going to be playing my first build. My second build, I might play. I'm not too sure yet. I don't know if I want to play the Double Falcon. I really don't. But I definitely want to try it. But that build we can go over. I'll go over in some other loadout or stuff.
Once we get playing, we'll have
After
to
I've tried it or
demo
something.
game some of these builds that we're doing. I think once 2.0 comes out, we'll do some demo games and record them, and you guys can have a laugh at them.
Anyways, please, people, fans, subscribers, all you friendly foes out there, use our Facebook page for your events and for your loadouts. Like, just load it up, man. Have fun. Use it. You know, like, that's what it's there for. So use it. Also, don't forget to email us.
Or send us comments on our YouTube
Crimson
videos.
CTG.
Love to hear your
gmail.com.
input on our builds. That gets some good talks going.
Yep.
Yep. So subscribe, like us,
yeah.
watch us. and
Go
keep us
to the
going.
page up. Thanks.
Anyways, you guys have a great night. Take care.
Okay, bye.